welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Karen.
I'm Nicole. Did you forget
totally
our motto?
Ruined that. I can't hear myself, to be honest. But welcome to Cinema Therapy, the podcast for people who know nothing about life but all about TV and film. I am Karen.
And I'm Nicole. You did it.
Thank
Good for you.
I'm glad we could, go back in time and fix that.
It. Yeah, we edited it.
Time stone.
Yeah.
Fix that.
Yes, exactly. That's a good way of telling you guys that this episode is about the Avengers Endgame.
There are no spoilers in this episode.
No spoilers.
Okay,
we want to make that extremely clear.
Yeah, feel free to listen and, get interested. But even though, I just want to say, I feel like you have had time to already watch it. It's Sunday. It came out 72 hours ago. I watched it twice already. I'm just saying. But I'm not going to comment on people's life situations, schedules, or financial situations. Even though AMC gives that $19.99 a month, unlimited movies. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, some people's bank accounts, you never know what happens from month to month. People's life situations are different, man. Why are you judgmental?
I'm not judgmental.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying because you're I was very close to not having watched Endgame before this episode because my lovely husband, the dear David, past guest on this show, he's one to not plan. He likes to fly by the seat of his pants, if you will. He likes to know how he feels on a particular day. Maybe he wants to go at 4 p.m. rather than 3 p.m. So it was quite a surprise when I'm looking through all the showtimes and they're almost full, almost full, almost full. Actually, there's one showing, and you click on the showing and it's only handicapped seating left. And you're like, okay, I don't understand the rules for that, so I'm going to keep looking. No, almost full, almost full. It was freaking me out. I would not say that I'm I've definitely watched a lot of the Marvel films, but for me to act like I am the biggest Marvel fan ever, I feel like you had to have read the comic books. I don't know. Maybe I just feel some sort of inadequacy because I didn't read the comic books.
I feel you. I don't read the comic books.
But would you say you're a huge fan of?
You know what? No. But you know what? Before we continue this conversation, we should bring on our guests so they can, contribute to this energy. But I just wanted to go back to what I was saying about going to the movies. I just feel like it's a very important thing to support the movies by being moviegoers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
That's an opinion. Steven Spielberg has that opinion. That's why he... Don't you love being camp with Steven Spielberg? It's I'm in the right team.
That's right.
But Steven Spielberg is Netflix movies shouldn't be eligible for certain awards because a lot of times they don't stream in the movie theaters, and his argument is that he's preserving the experience of seeing movies in theaters, which I think is kind of bullshit.
Wow, I did not know he felt that way.
Yes.
I don't feel that way at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love Netflix.
Mm-hmm. I love Netflix,
I think that it's done wonders for, I feel like it's changed how we live completely.
Yes,
and
it has.
Social settings and, Netflix and chill is a thing. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I feel like it helps with accessibility. Our friend Lori was saying, she can't see Endgame until next week, and Lori is one of I would say that she's a huge Marvel fan. I don't know if she read the comic books, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did. She's a big anime fan, so I feel same camp of nerdiness. But she is a new mom and just couldn't make it work this weekend. So I felt for her, and I was man, I wish you could stream it from the comfort of your own home. I just like the idea of people having a more accessible experience and being able to create what they can't do at the movies, because I'm sure there are people who are disabled or have other life situations that make it easier to watch it from home.
And you know what? That's a very good point.
And they make it so
I don't wanna
expensive at
seem
the movies
insensitive.
too. It's so expensive. $25. That's how much I paid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. AMC gives $19.99.
Oh, right. I know.
Unlimited.
I know.
movies.
You're right. You're right. Can
But
AMC
you know what?
hire you? You're such a good spokesperson
This
for them. You need to
episode
tag
is
them.
actually sponsored by AMC.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
just kidding.
no.
I'm just kidding. No, but that's false advertising. But I feel like both of us have good points. Both of our points need to exist in the world.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
People come from all walks of life.
Did you want to talk about our how we did this week, or do you want to just
let's
go
do
into
it.
some-
Let's take a breather. I feel like we just came in hot.
Yeah, we're
So,
excited.
Let's just take a breath. And yeah, let's do it. How was your week, Nicole?
Oh my God, it was fabulous. It was a really great week. It's one of those weeks where you feel like I'm sorry. I wish you could have seen the reaction to my saying it was a fabulous week. It was like, wait, that is an intense emotion.
I'm ready to bring on our guest, but I want to know how your week was too, and I'm sure our listeners want to know how your week was as well.
Since I said it was so amazing, I really set the bar high. It's like,
Yes.
Did you win the lottery?
They're at the edge of their seats.
Well, I don't want to, I have some prospects out there. I don't want to reveal too much information. But it was one of those weeks where you start feeling like the efforts that you've been putting in to kind of build the person you want to be are coming together. Sometimes it feels like I'm a little too zoomed into my life, and I want to have a better idea of what the big picture is and what I'm working towards. And this was a week where I felt like I get it. I know what I'm doing. So that was really nice. And I had a lot of lovely friendship moments this weekend. It was really exciting because, okay, I'll tell you guys real quick. So I am a fan of Tumblr. I like to just look at images that make me happy. And sometimes I'll post those images on Instagram to share them with the rest of my friends, right? So I saw this image of waffles. And these were some delectable looking waffles. I cannot underscore how delicious these waffles looked like. Okay, I post not that much on my Instagram, but a decent amount. And maybe I'll get a couple comments on a pretty picture or something. A few people will do the quick little emojis on a post. I had legit 12 people reach out to me about this picture of waffles that I did not take and say that those look delicious and that they wanted them, right? And one of those people is my friend Crystal. And she's like, I want those waffles. I'm like, I heard from one of the people that reached out to me who was a waffle connoisseur that was a Waffle House waffle.
The picture?
Yeah, the picture was a Waffle House waffle, and they do not have the Waffle House in New York. So we had to figure out another place where we could get waffles. So decided, let's go to Amy Ruth's in Harlem. And we're like, do we want to expand it to more of our friends? And she says yes. So I invite some friends. She invites some friends. Ends up being 14 people at this brunch because, I don't know, maybe it's waffle season. People were filling the idea of waffles. Karen happened to be at this brunch.
I did. It was lovely. I love Amy Ruth's.
I'd never been there before, so it was my first time. And I had shrimp and waffles. And we all had a lovely little brunch. And then we went to your place of business to keep the party going at Mess Hall.
Let's just support Harlem businesses.
Yes, just shouting out. Yeah, I love Harlem so much. Yeah. I live a little bit north of Harlem, but I really enjoy going out there. So, yeah, it was good. It was a good day. That was yesterday.
All right, Nicole. Story. You know what? I appreciate that.
I gave so many
positivity.
details.
Yeah, waffles, Harlem, brunch, friendship. These are all very important things. And you know what? I had a great time. Thank you for organizing that.
You're welcome.
I'm not a very social person. I'm very awkward in new social environments, and I felt like it was a testament to who I am as a person, to be social and not be awkward.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to be thrown into those experiences to be reminded that you can be around people that you're not comfortable with, and it might even beneficial, and I think it was. Like, you got to meet a lot of cool people.
I feel like we're like on a spring vibe kind of like momentum right now. Like, I don't know, ever since Easter I felt like I came alive. Like Easter's one of my favorite holidays now. But
Resurrection.
yeah. And I just feel good as well. I actually told someone today, I actually really like my life. And that's not something that I say all the time. No, but like to really say I like my life. You know, it's great. Nicole tried to hook me up with someone.
Oh, we're going to talk about this.
Well, we're not going to go into details, but I just want to talk about friends trying to set friends up. Like, what do you all think? Yeah, no spoilers. We don't know. We don't know the end game. But I appreciate friends like you, Nicole, to really push me to come out of my
shell.
I've
been pushing you for as long as I can remember.
I know.
I remember once, like, she was running away from a boy, like, literally running away from a boy, and then I tackled her. And I was like, go talk to him. I was like, talk to him, Karen, please. I was getting so frustrated. I was taking so much ownership over her eternal happiness.
I've changed, though. I mean, I didn't talk to this person really yesterday.
No, you didn't.
But I did make effort afterwards.
Yes.
Like a little. Yeah, thank you. That was Adriana, everyone. She's a guest if she wants to be on our show right now, but she is in the room. Yeah. So I appreciate that, and I'm proud of myself for making effort.
Yeah,
there was open.
There was a time where you would have just been like, I'm going to leave work today because Nicole decided to bring a potential interest.
Well, Nicole's like, here's so-and-so's here. Go, Karen, go. Dance for the man.
I really was acting like that matchmaker in Mulan. I can't remember the lyrics of the song, but like
please bring on into us all.
And she had a robe on, and it was like all silky, and I just wanted to push her next to him and be like, touch her robe. Like, that's what I wanted to happen.
How awkward, Nicole. Do you realize how awkward that is?
I mean, but once you get to that level of awkward, it makes everything easier, right? Like, once you like are like pushed to a point of embarrassment, then you can actually talk about what you need to talk about. Like, my friend Joy asked for David's number for me because David was like slow on the uptake a little bit, even though David had just asked for my number. He had just built up the confidence, and then she walks in the room and is like, hey, here is Nicole's number. Why are you taking so long? Some bullshit like that. And he was in his feelings. But, like, you know, that awkwardness just made us closer.
All right, that's fine. But also, like, sometimes, okay, whatever. That was beautiful.
Beautiful story.
Yes. This episode is about Marvel Cinematic Universe and our lead up to Endgame.
Yes.
We have a very, very special guest with us today who has actually requested to talk about this topic in particular, which is why I felt and I feel so confident in his presence with us today.
Yes.
Because, not gonna lie, I am not very well read in the Marvel genre. I have not even seen a lot of these Marvel movies.
Really?
In fact, I don't think I've seen like 2 of the Avengers movies. I saw one. I mean, I have not seen one of them.
Like the Avengers, like Avengers
yeah.
with the colon and then another name.
Yeah, like Age of Ultron. I didn't see that one.
You haven't seen Age of Ultron?
Yeah, that's a conversation we're going to talk about.
You didn't meet the Red Witch? Like,
we're going to talk about that. But our special guest today is Adrian from the Bronx. And that, woo!
Yes.
That's my name for him because that is the Instagram handle that I know him by.
Follow him.
Actually, that is the name. Like,
yeah.
That is your persona. That is your superhero name.
Ever since Trevor Noah. We'll
nice.
talk about that later.
Oh, please do.
Yes. All right, I'll talk about it now.
Yeah, why not?
Please tell us that.
So, I was a studio guest at Trevor Noah's taping.
Cool.
And, Al Gore was in the audience, or he was the guest speaker that day.
Wow.
And South Park had, like, made an episode talking about Man, Bear, Pig. And pretty much I brought that conversation to light. And they taped me, and they put me on their, like, in-between takes. And Trevor Noah shouted me out, Adrian from the Bronx. And ever since then, that's what I go by.
Yes. That's That's on YouTube, right?
It is, yo. So,
yo, check it out.
Comedy Central, where's my check? I don't know. We got a couple hits. And counting.
Adrian, you have a show coming up at Pianos with our producer, Jade Zabrick, correct?
Yeah.
May 4th, Saturday. What is the time? 7 p.m. sharp.
Yes.
$10 cover. Can you tell us what we can expect from this show?
Well, Jade Zabrick is Air Force veteran. Myself, I'm a Navy veteran. We're going to do a couple of songs together, a couple of our individual songs, and we have a few special guests performing as well.
Okay. Nice.
And we're going to have a full band backing us up.
What?
Very nice.
That's going to be huge.
So I don't want to give away anything. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
That's the theme.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Well, congratulations on the show. Pianos is a great venue that I feel like a lot of performers aspire to be in.
It took us a while to get this because we requested for this back in January. And now here we are, May.
Wow.
You just you went to the venue and asked them?
Not really. We went through a booking agent.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're getting there.
Let me tell you guys about Jade and Adrian from the Bronx.
Us.
Yes, they perform on. Can I share this information? Like where I've seen you on the train. Can I share which train you guys perform at?
All of them.
They perform on the train. What is the term for people who perform on the
Buskers.
train? Buskers. I did not know that until I met you, Jade. But I was on the F train one day, and I hear the guitar, and I hear a woman singing, and I'm like, I know that voice. And then I turn around, and it's Jade and Adrian, and they're doing their thing, and he gives a shout out to Cinema Therapy.
Yes. Appreciate a shout out.
It was
felt
awesome.
famous for a second when I saw that IG story.
Yeah.
It's us.
I really admire what you all do, and I think it's such a huge part of life in New York and the heart of New York, and it's very special and unique. So thanks for thanks for what you do, and thanks for being here today.
Thanks for inviting me to the table finally.
Adrian.
You've been waiting, but we brought you on an appropriate episode.
I was born for this conversation, ladies.
Whoa! What's going on? Wow. So, how do you really feel about Marvel?
Okay, so, we kind of talked a little bit about this before the show. There's a difference between Marvel and the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ask me, who's my favorite character of all time, I'm gonna say Spider-Man. But in this movie, Captain America.
Yes,
he's wearing the Captain America shirt for those of you who are not here with us.
So, without getting into too much thing, this movie, it's a fan service letter to us. It hits on everything else. Again, not to get into too much details, but if you're a fan of the movies that have come out, yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. If you're caught up to date with the comics, you're gonna enjoy it. But even if you're not, it's a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be you guys are referring to hardcore nerds. You don't have to be into that lifestyle.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
It's an experience nonetheless.
For sure. I feel like this is definitely the type of movie that Hollywood has been going towards these days, is opening up the audience pool, not just specific genres. I feel like movies seem to be so much more segmented, and now it's for everyone. Not too violent, not too many curse words, enough so that a family can go and watch it together. Yeah. And it does feel the Super Bowl of movies, right? We all, well, most of us saw it, and it feels like a shared life experience, and that's what I appreciate. I like the idea of movies bringing us together and feeling a common experience through them.
Yeah.
It broke a world record. It is the biggest opening in
film
history.
The weekend isn't over yet. So
right.
Yeah.
It's projected to be $1.6 billion.
It's never been this hard for me to see a movie, because I never am one to buy it weeks before. I was making fun of David before. I never have felt the need to do that because I could always get tickets and it wasn't an issue. But this time it really was they were selling out theaters, and it was crazy.
Well, I'm just gonna say, Nicole, you were only able to fly by the seat of your pants today to go see this movie because they added movie times.
That had to have been it. Yeah,
they did. They added it on Friday. It was a big old announcement.
Well, thankfully, okay. See, they do it. They want that money.
They do.
They have to and They have to do the like the MAC Cosmetics thing. It was like, oh, there's only a few of them. There's just a couple. Like, get your Rihanna lipsticks, and then like, you know,
Just
then
kidding.
they're just
Yeah.
kidding. There's more.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just want you to like fight
Yeah.
for a small portion.
It adds to the hype for sure. And I know I've been like talking to like everyone's ear off about AMC, but AMC has been open like nonstop all weekend, like 24 hours.
I feel
like,
bad for the people
open.
working there.
I know. Well, my experience when I went, like everyone was so nice and such good spirits. Like, I don't know.
They were slow. I need them to get my popcorn faster.
Oh my! You are a terror, Nicole. I feel bad for them.
I feel
They're
bummed.
too
I'm a Gemini. I'm just saying, I feel bad for them because they're obviously being slow because they've been overworked. Like, they're usually much quicker.
Well, I would love that they get like some kind of,
Bonus?
bonus,
Unlikely.
They get their
incentive.
incentives of watching a movie before us.
I'm sure they
That's
did.
true.
I'm sure they did.
And they get posters. That was a big thing I've heard, that you could get like the big posters from movies. That's like one of the few.
Yeah, so did you guys see like people, or did you even get it yourselves, like the little posters and buckets that people were walking around with?
No.
I got a little poster.
Yeah?
Really?
I didn't get
Did.
anything.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I got a good experience. That's what I got.
That's right. I went to. I got it the second time around for the IMAX experience, so maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot to give away, so they just gave me a poster.
And like, what about like the crowd reactions and like, what do you guys feel
Oh my
about
God,
that?
they were really
We need
funny.
to
Again, without
talk
getting into spoilers.
about this, yes.
Okay, I have to tell you about this obnoxious person in my movie theater. It definitely made me laugh. At least they were funny. But I wish I could tell you the part where he said something.
Yeah.
But he was like, that ain't right. Like, there was like there was some part of the movie that he's like, no, that does not fit in my understanding of the Marvel universe. He's like,
Whoa.
And then there was another part, it was the same guy, and he was
Same
like,
guy.
he was like, ooh, or ah, like he just like had like extreme reactions for everything. It was kind of amazing. He was good though. I'm sorry, real quick. I saw a Hunger Games once, and this woman was legit narrating the entire movie. Like, I couldn't see, like, I don't know who she was talking to, but she was every single thing that happened. She had to talk about it. I was like, what the. Like, we all see it. Who are you talking to? I'm sorry.
That's like hit or miss. Like whether like, that extra stuff is entertaining or it's like, yo, that's too much.
Yes, yeah. Like, sometimes it's fun. Oh, when I saw Black Panther, there was some really annoying people in the theater. Like, every single thing was like, whoa, ooh, like, just chill.
Like, I'm down for that. It's just let's not do it overboard.
Yes.
Well, I thrive off of that energy. I really enjoy it. Yeah, that's Adriana again for everyone in the room. She's our guest.
Friend of
You are-
Adrian from the
yes.
Bronx.
Yes.
Adri from Astoria.
Ooh. Very
Adri
quick.
from Astoria.
Like Astoria.
I had to do accents all over.
Astoria.
House Astoria. Adrian from House Bronx.
Yeah, so I actually when I watched Infinity Wars, is it Infinity Wars
No,
or Infinity War?
Infinity
Singular.
War. Did you even see it?
I'm about to tell you my experience. It was like a midnight showing. I was like super tired, but like I just love the camaraderie. Like I went up, like I got off the subway. I was already tired, and like there's like a lot of people on the streets walking to the movie theater, and it's just so exciting to see everyone like come out and like be part of the community and yeah, I had a very lively audience, and it got me like really. Like, it made the experience so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it twice in Endgame, as I've said. And the first time, I did like it. But the second time, I was with, like, a much more lively audience. And it made me like the movie even more. Like, I cried harder. I laughed harder. I was like, whoa, this is a great movie. And I think the audience has a lot to do with it. Just like, again, like just the shared experience of movie movie going. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine if we're all
personal.
laughing together. It's when this lady, she was like, "Oh, he's taking off his shirt. Woo! Crazy! Like, oh no, you didn't. Like every single thing. Like no, like legit. She was acting like she was from a Peel sketch. Like I was like, yo, this is not your show. She like really felt like everybody was.
Brenda from Scary Movie, like that.
Yes. It
I
wasn't.
love Brenda from Scary Movie though.
I didn't come there for you.
Yeah, no, that would annoy me too. That would annoy me.
It was
too
too much.
Yeah.
I do want to say that this movie is legit 3 hours and how many minutes? Like 23 minutes long?
2 minutes.
2 minutes? It's
3
3 hours and 2
2
minutes?
minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
it felt longer. I feel like it would be a good idea if you haven't seen it yet to watch it earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a movie that you would like to watch at 8 p.m. unless you want to go home really late. I would watch it at, I don't know, in the afternoon, noon. I enjoyed it. 3 hours and 2 minutes. So I saw it at noon today, and I felt very much awake. I wasn't falling asleep, so that was good. I think if I saw it late last night, I would have been very unhappy.
Yeah. Adrian, what was your experience like? So you got tickets for Thursday, as I did.
Yeah.
Were you online the day of? Because tickets went on sale, what, like 2-3 weeks ago now?
On April 2nd, it went on sale.
Oh, there you go.
I organized with a couple of friends, and we put our money together. One member in our group, he was in charge of getting the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who aren't aware, there was a website that went up that same day, and it crashed.
Mm-hmm.
My friend had to refresh his browser. We wanted 8 o'clock tickets. That didn't work out, so we ended up getting 10 o'clock tickets for a 3-hour-long movie, and it worked out in the end. We didn't get the best seats we wanted. We're like right in front of the theater.
Same. Yeah.
But with the reclining seats, like you get to experience it even better.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
It feels like it's encompassing you.
Yeah.
I was in the
Right.
second row, and it was like a huge theater. I just felt like I wasn't seeing any borders around it. Like Tony Stark's face was taking over like everything. Like
And,
he was
like,
like right there.
not
Yeah.
only that, but like I'm like literally have to turn my head to see like
Yeah.
everything. I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
they can't see me, but yes, I'm turning my head literally, and like that experience again, like movie theater, definitely support it. It's an experience that who knows how long this is gonna be around. So while it's here, I'm gonna enjoy like going out to see a movie as soon as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one to definitely watch in
Yeah.
theaters. I feel like I feel cheated when I watch something in theaters, and I'm like, oh, I could have done this at home. This is not one of those
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought my neck pillow.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you
'Cause
was
I was
ready.
I was in the first row on Thursday, and then I was in the second row on Friday, and I knew that it was like a 3-hour movie. I'm just like, I'm not what I used to be, so I had to take care of my neck.
Good for you. I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
You're
but
committed to your comfort.
But the day that the tickets went on sale, like I was online nonstop for like 5 hours, 5-6 hours.
Oh, God.
All of them crashed. Like
Yeah.
all of them like crashed. All of these like services. I had to sign up for Adam to eventually get my tickets.
That's crazy. I can't believe it was that insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I was able to make it work, late. I want to do some time travel. Will you indulge me in that?
Yes.
Okay. That's a big theme in this movie. No spoilers, but it's just, I think, important to know. I want to time travel back to 2008. Okay. That's when Iron Man came out. Y'all remember that little film? What were your first impressions of Iron Man? I want to like bring you back to like who you were at that time. Like where were you working? Where were you going to school? And like who was that person when they saw Iron Man? And did you understand the implications of that movie and how far it was going to take us?
Adrian, please.
Sure.
By all means.
2008. I was in the Navy. Forgot. I know I was deployed, so I came home and I saw it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember during that time period, like DC was killing it with the Batman movies, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Right.
So like this was Marvel's first entry, and we had Batman, then we have the counterpart to that, which is pretty much Marvel's response to Batman.
Mm-hmm.
A rich billionaire. So
right. Yeah.
so this movie comes out. people had very low expectations. I was excited.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't grow up with Iron Man, but I'm like, yo, this is something different. I'm down. And I did not see that first post-credit scene. I don't think. I think later on, a whole bunch of us ended up going back to see it, or online on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
But that's the first time they did that. And
Yeah,
they
it
kept
is.
building up that universe from there. So, like I said, during that time of my life, it was much different. And yeah, I was excited then. I'm still excited just to see it.
What did you think of his character? Because Batman is more of this like brooding billionaire, and Tony Stark seems to have more fun with his being rich.
So, like, since the beginning of the whole MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, like they've set the tone like a little bit more lighthearted as opposed to what DC was doing.
Yeah.
And by no means am I saying that Marvel is better than DC. I'm a fan of both.
Right.
And I just want good movies, whether it comes from DC or Marvel. So,
exactly.
no shade. That's whatever.
That's fair.
How about you, Karen?
Well, I didn't read the comic books like I mentioned, but I also did love. I was more drawn to DC growing up because I mean you've had like great movies based on DC characters, like not even like the Dark Knight, like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, but from the 90s or like those
Give me
Batman movies
something.
from the 90s, Michael Keaton, who
Yeah.
directed that? Why
Tim
is
Burton.
it Tim Burton?
Yeah.
Wow, Karen. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in myself. But those movies
Karen
were incredible. Like Batman Returns, and they're Batman Returns is actually my favorite with Catwoman, Penguin, and that's another thing. Like DC characters at the time were so much more interesting to me. Like their villains were so captivating. Like I also loved the villains of the DC universe. I still love the DC characters, like villains, like the Joker, Harley Quinn. My experience of Marvel was like, so what? We had the Spider-Man movies come out in 2003, which is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but those were like my first impressions of Marvel.
I think the first one was 2000.
Yeah.
Or 2001.
Yeah, and
2001, it was after 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2001.
And I loved those movies. And I was kind of disappointed when, they kept doing those reboots of like, they kept changing Spider-Man.
Yes.
And I'm like, I love Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
I did too.
Right?
I did too.
Yeah, he was great. And
authentic too.
very authentic. And I got like the comic book vibe from those movies.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's necessary. Like Tom Holland.
No,
Very
Holland.
necessary. And I like I think his relationship with Tony Stark is very essential. And Spider-Man at this point needs to be in high school. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But at that time, I knew Marvel not only from Spider-Man but Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios.
yeah.
Which is something that I have been thinking about. Like, so Disney owns Islands of Adventure. I mean, Disney owns Marvel now. So what is Islands of Adventure going to do with Marvel Superhero Island?
I think they're going to continue expanding the Harry Potter world. Like, they're just going to go all in for Harry Potter. But it's sad because I really liked, because the Hulk is one of my favorite rides.
The Hulk is amazing, and like Spider-Man also very amazing.
Yeah.
Like it is sad, and like that's how I knew Marvel. So I liked Iron Man when it came out. I was in Miami. I just graduated from high school. I had no idea that they were planning to do this epic saga, this 10-year kind of journey with everyone. I enjoyed Iron Man. I like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. I did not like Iron Man the character. I liked the movie. I thought it was entertaining, but Iron Man really annoyed me. I felt like he lacked the substance that Batman had. If you want to compare them being like rich superheroes that kind of put on this persona of being like an asshole playboy. But now I like after seeing all the not all the Avengers, but the last Avengers, the last two Avengers, I actually really, really, really like Tony Stark, and I appreciate that he's actually a genius. So
he is, he can build shit. Like he's an engineer. So, Batman knows how to buy things.
I know he's right, but Batman's mysterious, and I like that.
I know you like that Doc Macabre, the bats in the cave, the bats in the cave, and the Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Well, yeah, I did stay and watch the Nick Fury intro.
Really?
So yeah, I didn't think they were gonna go anywhere with it. Like, I just like, oh, this is just them trying to, I don't know, because I feel like we've seen that in so many movies. Maybe not at the end of the credits, but we've seen like, oh, the story's not over. Here's a cliffhanger, and then they don't continue with that storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, depending on the success of the film,
right?
And like what the purpose is there. Because like for me, not having read the Iron Man comics, my thought was that they were just like throwing a bone to Marvel fans. Oh, for the true Marvel fans out there, you'll know who this character is. No problem. But yeah, I had no idea that it meant like, oh, we are expanding this universe and there's going to be a whole bunch of movies and we're bringing all these characters together. And the first time I heard that, I feel like it was like a internet like gossip situation. I feel like I was at Best Buy. And people were saying like, yeah, it's going to become an Avengers. Like that's where we're building to. And I just didn't I didn't even know what the Avengers were really. Like I knew Justice League. I was like familiar with the DC, together venture, but not the one for Marvel.
So
yes, please, Adriana.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between Justice League and Avengers? What do you like about them? What do you dislike about them?
Oh,
sure. I guess like I have more of a nostalgia pull from Justice League because I remember watching the cartoons, like the old ones from the 60s. I think that's when they were made, but they were always like on Cartoon Network, and it had Wonder Woman, right? Batman, Superman. Like, I was a fan of like having some women there. I like the twins. I love twins. Like any like thing with twins in it, I'm like really happy about. But I actually haven't seen like the new iteration of the Justice League movies because I really try not to watch movies that I know are going to drain me. And I've heard that the Justice League movies are draining. And I'm like, wow. I'm not ready to go through that experience. I'm not a big enough fan to watch a movie I know I'm potentially not going to like.
I saw this meme that had a picture of the Justice League, and it said, if the Justice League faced Thanos, they would win, no problem, like right away. And then it said, well, let them defeat Rotten Tomatoes first. Shade.
Wasn't it amazing?
So shade.
The shade is real.
But it's true. Like,
it's true.
Those superheroes, I feel like, if you wanted to do DC versus Marvel, DC characters would win. Like, they're just stronger. Like
Superman is super strong.
Right.
I think like Captain Marvel is like maybe his equivalent.
Yep.
Like Asia is like nah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
All right, so here we go. First off, Superman is way too overpowered. He is an alien from another planet, and the only reason he has his powers is because he's over here. Put him on a neutral planet, he's nothing. They put a comics back in the 70s. It was Superman versus Muhammad Ali. The story was weird, but anyways, they needed Earth's champion to fight off against a villain or whatever. Anyways, so Muhammad Ali stepped up, Superman stepped up. They're like, okay, how can we figure out who's the better fighter? Mm-hmm. So they put Superman and Muhammad Ali on a planet with a red sun where Superman's powers were neutral. He got his. Can I say it?
Of course.
Okay. He got his ass whooped by Muhammad Ali. So Superman is nothing. He is an alien.
Oh my
and
God.
All of this. Okay, he has the yellow sun. Now he's powered. Nah, bro. Nah.
I mean, who knows what would happen on a neutral planet though? Because we could have
Nothing.
Captain Marvel, we could have Hulk, we could have like all
really
of them.
Harsh.
Wait.
No, him.
Like I feel this strongly because I've been lied to all this time. Like once I discovered
God.
like Superman, he is the way he is because of where he is. You're not that special, bro. Like,
Oh my
Superwoman
God.
is the same copy and paste version of you. Bro, you're nothing. Get out of here.
Oh my God, that's really mean.
Yeah.
I love.
Can you defend your DC
No,
characters?
because I don't know shit about. I
This is my
love
opinion.
Superman.
Like,
I like
yeah.
the movies.
But like, can you understand, like, where I'm coming from? Because again, like, he's not all that. If you were from Krypton, where he's from, and you come here, you'd have the same powers. Boom, you're Superwoman. He is not
Yeah,
unique.
but then that's also like, okay, well, let's put anyone in an Iron Man suit, and boom, they're Iron Man.
I mean,
no.
they really are though.
Exactly.
Because they put Gwyneth. Sorry.
Ah!
Yeah, they put a little, I don't know.
That was a close one.
Yeah.
They can put anybody in that suit. Apparently, I could jump into that suit and be Iron Woman.
Iron Woman.
Anyone in anyone's suit, really, and they're boom.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a superhero.
I have a question
Except Tony Stark
logistically.
is a genius, so let's not take that away from him.
He
Hey.
is like
With
he's the
With
one
great
who
power
came.
comes great responsibility.
I appreciate that he was the one who created the power. It wasn't like Batman
Yeah.
bought the suit and he's like, now I'm Iron Man. Iron Man's like, no, I created it with
It's
science
mine.
and math,
Yeah.
STEM careers. Like,
I will say this though, they all have heart and resilience, which cannot be duplicated.
I love
At the end of the day, they are superheroes.
I love the optimism in the
I like that.
Avengers. Captain America. I think he's like one of the most optimistic characters. Like he is just like so. He's that like light of hope for everyone.
Yeah.
He's like the Obama of the Avengers. He's just like guys, we can have a change. Like don't,
Yeah.
he's like leading a support group. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
just
we could say that. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did show that in the trailer, but
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's just like taking care of people here. Like I can't believe like the danger we have about spoilers right now because I just
All
want
right.
to talk so much shit.
I had something I forgot.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I got something.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, these superhero movies have come a long way. Now, despite what people say, like I said, it's much more than a superhero movie. Like you guys have seen it for yourself. Like the story is there.
Mm-hmm.
People say like, oh, they're just gonna go for the action. No, yes, that's part of it. But we're so invested in these characters, including Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, everyone that we grow to love because the way that they tell these stories.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, their origins come from these graphic novels, aka comics. But yeah, like these stories that they're telling, if you look into it, like I'll break it down for you real quick. X-Men is it's a symbolism for the civil rights movement during that time. The X-Men were the people of color. So that's the stories that they're telling. They had Captain America: Civil War, which was loosely based off the Civil War comics that Marvel put out, where they had the government was trying to regulate the superheroes and everything, and just like in the movie, Captain America was not for that. Iron Man was. Boom, Civil War. So, I forgot where I was going, but anyways, the stories that these movies are telling us, like it's more than just action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have deep themes that are discussed. Like Black Panther, they talk about like
Absolutely.
nationalism and
Yeah.
like opening up borders. Like there's a lot of strong themes, and like I think that's part of like what makes the movie feel like it's bringing people together, because like they're themes that a lot of us can understand. It's not so specific that's like, oh, I've only had to have had this experience to understand what they're going through. Like the characters' plights are very relatable, so it helps in feeling these movies.
One last thing I wanted to share. All right, now I'm talking about comic books. Like I've read them, and I know of all of these stories here and there because we have the internet available. So you don't have to physically pick up a comic book and read it to know what's going on.
Yeah.
They have YouTube videos where they break it down for you. So just saying, that's what I've done. I don't read every single comic that's out there.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's out there, like, I feel you.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
own your nerdom. It's
Yeah.
all good. Like, don't let anybody feel like they can take away your identity from
No,
you.
because I hear people like, oh, well, I didn't read this. Like, again, you don't have to physically read
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's just my own
Yeah.
insecurity of like, people have definitely made me feel like, oh, I mean, I read it, so I understand.
That's like those
Yeah.
people that they talk about like, oh, Twilight, you didn't read those books.
I mean,
And you
don't
watch
read those
movie.
books.
Okay, sorry. I'm
Is that
making a
passionate
comparison. but
about Twilight. No, but it's like,
Harry Potter. You know?
Yeah,
Oh,
Harry
yeah,
Potter, you should read those
absolutely.
books.
Yeah.
Well, I would never take away like the Harry Potter fan medal from people who just
Right.
watch the movies because I feel like it's
Yeah.
their own experience and like that's fine. I just feel like the books are its own experience that's
Of course.
equally
Even,
wonderful.
they have the books, readers, and us watchers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but no one knows what's gonna happen now because they're on their own. They're
Hey.
off the beaten path. Let's see what's gonna happen.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Which Avenger couple is your one true pairing? Who did you ship? The
Couple?
options are yes, couple. They had little connections and shit. Here are your options.
Okay.
I feel like we're about to enter spoiler territory.
No, we're not.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we have Hulk and Natasha because they've
Okay.
definitely had vibes. We have the Red Witch and what was his name?
Vision.
Vision, and we have Gwyneth Paltrow and I can't remember Pepper Potts and Iron Man.
Stark, yeah.
And I'm going to throw in one that's not a real pairing, but I would like it to happen. Valkyrie and Captain Marvel.
Oh, all right.
It's real sexy.
I see that. I see it.
Are there any other couples I'm missing? I just wanted to put them out there.
Star-Lord and Gamora.
Oh, yeah. Star-Lord and Gamora. Yes. Any others?
Love,
So, I feel like I've already kind of revealed myself, but
Well, like Captain America and that woman that he's obsessed with.
oh yeah, what's her name? What's her name? I don't remember.
I don't remember her name, but like he's obsessed with her.
Yeah, we knew that from the first movie. He like has her picture all the time. Like,
Yeah.
chill. Yes. So I like Valkyrie and
It's not an actual couple.
well, they acknowledge it on their social medias. Brie Larson and Tessa Thompson. They're like, "Oh, look how cute they are," because they have a lot of art. These nerdums like to put people together. And if Marvel won't do gay couples for you, then we will. So, I think that they would be really hot together. So
I mean, I would definitely be excited to see that, but they're also like, how would they coexist? You know what I mean?
coexist.
I don't know.
I mean, this
Like,
is why they don't have time for romance in these movies because they're always like, I gotta do
different
shit.
universes.
I mean, they could be in the same universe. Like, it's long distance, like y'all can
Yo.
hit each other up when you can. She has a pager. Page me, beat me if you want to reach me.
All right, so that's your vote.
Yes.
Adrian, what do you think? Who's your favorite twosome?
I'm gonna say Star-Lord and Gamora, just because like, man,
You like a hateful
Yeah.
pairing. Like, they almost don't like each other, is like
Exactly.
their
Yeah.
situation.
Oh.
it's interesting watching them.
Mm-hmm.
Like because they have that back and forth stuff, and then like on top of that, they're always around their homies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they're literally a team. So
Yeah.
I like that. They fight together and they ride together. So.
Yeah. How about you, Karen?
What is Gwyneth Paltrow's name?
Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts. So I did not watch the last two Iron Mans yet, but I will.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen so far, I just really appreciate how Pepper Potts is just so strong for Tony Stark. Like it really takes a strong woman to be in love with a superhero or like a man who like has literally like the world on his shoulders. Like he's responsible for like mankind and he has all these priorities ahead of you and he has daddy issues. Like there's just so many things and she's just like a constant in his life. Like she is there for him no matter what. And I appreciate that. And I don't think he's anything without her. And so
Oh.
It's just what I feel.
I just watched the first movie, and David was calling out some Me Too situations because
Whoa.
she is his assistant, basically.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
he's making moves on her at this party. You know, drinks are flowing, and he's getting a little close. And she's not necessarily, I mean, she's playing with it a little bit, but she's not, like, fully, like, it could just be the power dynamic. So maybe this movie would have been seen a different way if it came out.
If it came out recently.
Yeah.
This is the first Iron Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since 2008. So maybe there are little Me Too movements or like moments.
I mean,
We'll see.
I definitely could not ignore it, but
That's kind of what his character is, though. He
That's
is that
true.
arrogant, person.
Yeah, which is why I
Yeah.
did not like him, but I like him now. Yeah.
his facial hair is very hard to contend with.
What?
Like, yes, it looks crazy. He has crazy facial hair. He
Like,
looks like a
right-
villain.
Like right now, like in
Always.
in the last movie.
Always, all of them. Like, they're just bad. Well, the first movie was the worst. The first, like, if you go back, like, it's like slashes in the face. Like, it's really an issue. And it was really dark. It's like someone dyed it. Like, his hair is gray, and
Well,
he's,
this
like,
is
making
not
it
a
really black.
spoiler, but they do like make jokes about it in this last one.
They do.
So, I've got a question.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Avenger?
Like, legit Avenger, like,
You keep trying to like change the stories right now, or like add like. Okay, yes, Nicole. Who? Actual Avenger.
No, because there's levels to this shit, right? Because, like, could it be all the... there aren't?
No,
It's only the...
I'm just shaking my head about what you're about to get into, so be careful.
I'm on notice right now. He was just shaking his head silently, like, you better not spoil. You better not spoil. No, because, like, is it all the people who are fighting for the mission? Or is it... is it the people from the original film?
No, I'm talking about. So let's go back to, what's the last one called? Not Endgame. The one before that?
Infinity.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
All those people fighting. Who's your favorite from there?
Ooh.
Or any of the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, anything.
I like the Red Witch.
Yo.
Her powers are fucking strong. She is coming
She-
through. Like, she can do some shit. I would love all of her powers, honestly, because like the power to manipulate and give you bad dreams. Yes, I'm about it. And I can also do like fucking mushroom clouds. Like she was a force to be reckoned with. She could do a lot. I really appreciate that.
I don't want to give a spoiler. I'm not going to, but I just want to say that there's like a line in this movie. I can't even. Okay, anyway.
So much to be.
Adrian, who is your favorite Avenger?
Well, before I get there, just a quick fact about Scarlet Witch. So she's so terrified of herself. Like she doesn't know how to control her powers, which is kind of what had led to Civil War. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got innocent people killed and
Actually,
everything.
yes,
So
Oh yeah, you
that's-
did it.
there's so many, in the comics also. There's so many stories revolving her because of how powerful she is. Anyways,
Like a
So-
Phoenix kind of situation. I feel like she's
yeah,
kind of
like in the comics, this is not a spoiler. This has nothing to do with the movie. But in the comics, this woman has altered universes just for the hell of it. Changed completely. She's changed realities completely. Like, yeah, she's way too
Yeah.
overpowered. Anyways,
This is not. Oh yeah. Continue.
Okay.
Continue with
All right.
your favorite one, and I want to go back to her.
Yeah.
Actually.
so my all-time favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. But in this movie, I gotta give it up to Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you like about Captain America?
Well, for one, he's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He volunteered to fight. Even though he was a scrawny little kid from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
right.
he was eligible for that super soldier program, and like they explained in the first Captain America movie, like it turns a good person great and a bad person evil. So it turned him great, and he's putting himself out there on the line. In Infinity War, he's going up against Thanos, which he does what he can, but again, he's just a human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have any special armor. Like, that's just you and a alien with all these Infinity Stones. Like, and he's doing that. he's a leader, team player. Yeah,
I feel like it's his moral code that makes him superhero and human.
Right.
Because it's like he's
Like-
not someone who can be.
something that Superman is not.
Okay. Shots fired.
Well, I don't know because okay, continue.
He's not someone who can be easily driven off of his morals. He's someone who understands very clearly what his moral code is, and he cannot even when like friendships are on the line and potential romantic relationships. He's like, no, I know what's right, and I'm gonna do that. And he does it in a way that's like doesn't make me feel like you're just aggravating me, because a lot of times it's annoying, like it's like a burden. But I feel like it brings him to a greater level of understanding, because he is just like following his own code of justice, so he never like fails himself. I feel like Daredevil, like if you've ever watched the Marvel TV show, I love Daredevil, but the fact that he's like, I'm never gonna kill somebody, like yo right, you need to just get this done. Like he's gonna keep coming back for you. Can you just kill him? Like I'm just tired of seeing his face. Like
Right. Yeah. I will have to say Captain America is my favorite Avenger as well. I just love his heart.
But was he always your favorite?
Okay, well, here's my big reveal. I haven't seen all the Avenger movies. So I tried to like do that whole 22 list that the Russo brothers, which bravo to them for like creating this epic conclusion of a film. They sent out a list, or like they made a list of all the movies you should watch in chronological order to lead up to Endgame, and I was in the process of doing that, and then I realized, oh shit, I have not seen like 2 of the Avenger movies. I have not seen any. I've only seen 1 of the Iron Man movies. I did not see Civil War. There's a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do.
How did you not see Civil War? It was on Netflix for an
I'm
entire
telling
year.
you, I saw I didn't know that. Here's the thing. I did not realize that this was like a thorough line story until last year.
You thought that they were just throwing movies at you? They weren't doing anything? Not from 2012 when they did the first Avengers movie? You didn't think that they were doing something? They didn't have a plan?
This is what I'm going to tell you right now. I had to have a conversation with myself. So yeah, I did not realize this was a thing until Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War last year. I was like, whoa, this is a thing. Like, they're really bringing everyone together. But I went back into 2012 whenever these movies came out, and I'm like, what was I doing? I was on tour. Okay? Well, like, between, like, 2011 2012, I was on tour. I remember seeing Thor while I was on tour and, like, not realizing, like, they were putting things together. And also, because social media is not what it was back then. Mm-hmm. Social media isn't what it was.
Don't go through it. It's fine.
Social media is not what it is today, back then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to not, like, I feel like it's understandable that I didn't know that this was a thing. Because I feel like it's such a thing now because of social media, too. Like, social media has a huge part of, like, the hype, honestly. And I was also dating someone who was a huge movie buff, and, like, I just wanted to, like, impress him. Like, I only watch, like, indie films, foreign films. I don't watch these superhero movies. But then, yeah, because I don't feel like he didn't watch any of these. And I watched whatever he wanted to watch at the time.
I don't watch things because
I don't watch things. Anyways, yeah. Captain America is my favorite from my really weird experience.
I want to retract my statement and say that Stan Lee is my favorite.
Oh.
Stanley?
Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's where I went. I was like, Stanley? Who's Stanley?
I can't stand you. He made such a nice statement.
She's like,
I was moved by his statement. I'm like, in my feelings.
Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
I
You know who I'm
stand
talking
you.
about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
See, like he was old enough when he died that like I can say that.
Can't stand you.
We can enjoy.
Can't stand you.
We can enjoy
know
this
what?
joke.
Yeah.
We have, yes, thank you to Stan Lee.
Thank you, Stan Lee, for creating this whole universe and creating such compelling characters that we feel connected to. And we're so invested in their plight because I really feel like I've gone through all of this. And one thing I do want to say is, like, I didn't want to spoil the movie for you because I want you to feel as great as I felt after watching it. But it's going to be really satisfying. I think you're going to feel like you went on a journey and they had like a clear intention and they were successful in portraying that intention, and that's all I want. Like, I want you to have a mission for the audience to understand and complete that mission, and they did it. Like, they really did it. It was amazing.
I want to go back to the Red Witch. So this is something that I've heard. It has nothing to do with the movies, but is she connected to Magneto in any kind of way?
She is.
Can you please explain that? Because I'm
Again,
so interested in that specific graphic novel.
Yeah, in the comics, she's his daughter.
Whoa! Did you know that, Nicole?
I did not know
Isn't that
that.
really cool?
That is
I'm
cool.
pretty sure. So let me go ahead.
Yeah, and I
double
hear
check.
like she like kind of goes crazy because like somewhat because she had children with Vision, right? And like her children get murdered because of and like as like I don't know, like some kind of casualty of whatever's going on with Magneto and like some kind of war. And she just goes like, she just loses it. She loses herself. Like after she loses her children, after she loses Vision, and like becomes like this really like dark villain.
Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. That's like a story that I would love to see on film. But yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's really cool. So aside from Captain America, I am also very
Into the
attracted
Scarlet Witch.
to Scarlet Witch. I called her Red Witch.
I called her
didn't
Red Witch too because
That's Game of Thrones.
My
We are
bad.
not. Okay.
My mind is already at like the third episode.
I gave up on it. I was like, you know what? Red Witch. I know who you're talking about though, but yeah.
Red Witch. So
Scarlet
Scarlet
Witch.
Witch is the one
Scarlet
in
Witch.
Marvel.
Yes.
Red Witch is Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Yes.
Let it be known.
Yes. Do we want to say our favorite Marvel movies real quick?
Yes.
I'll tell you mine. I have a lot.
Okay, go for it.
Thor Ragnarok. I was very impressed when I saw it. Also a indigenous director. I believe he's from New Zealand. Taiki Waititi. Yo, he did an amazing job. That is one of the most entertaining films for me. Black Panther, and I love Captain America Winter Soldier. Also blew me away. I think that's probably my one of my. It's hard for me to say. It's on the top
It's up there.
of like movies with Captain America in it. I think he was just so stellar in it. Like that friendship and how it propels him forward. Like, I don't know. I love it so much. Yeah. How about you, Karen?
Thor Ragnarok as well. Actually, I love all of the Thor movies equally.
I didn't see the second one. Speaking of Marvel movies I haven't seen seen Iron Man 3 and I haven't seen Thor 2 Dark World. So, yeah, there were things that I didn't understand from those films.
Yeah. Thor, and I know we've had this conversation where I said I did not like Black Panther as much, but in retrospect, I think it's a stellar film.
What's the truth?
The truth is that I think it's a stellar film.
I mean, I know that's the
Things
truth.
have to
What's your
live.
truth?
That's my truth. Let me have my truth, Nicole. Let me change my mind. I'm human.
What did it take? Did you watch it again?
I don't want. Okay, rewatching the movies to lead up to this made me realize, fuck, Black Panther really stood out against a lot of these other ones. So that's what made me realize that I think it's a stellar film.
I think also Thor stands out in theme. I'd say Thor and Black Panther are kind of similar in like that Shakespearean drama feel.
Yeah.
It really does feel like there's a lot of politics and secrets in play, and I appreciate that aspect of it. yeah, the themes of family are connected in both of those films, and like the secrets that you keep.
Yeah. I also loved Captain America, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the last two Avengers movies, I think, are amazing.
How about you, Adrian from the Bronx?
I mean, I have favorites,
Mm-hmm.
not just one.
Yeah.
This one, definitely, it's up there. Infinity War, it led up to it. Winter Soldier, because that one, it pretty much put more people onto Captain America, letting everyone know how badass he is. And not just that, like the themes that they covered in that movie, you know, it's kind of political, you know, like just showing how, like, you know, secret societies exist and all that stuff. So, love that stuff. Iron Man starting it off. And, of course, I got to shout out my boy Spidey. Homecoming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you know what? That Michael Keaton was great in that movie, too.
Yeah.
Yes, such a good villain.
He was, yeah.
And like the Guardians of the Galaxies, like who would have expected to enjoy a movie about a talking tree and a raccoon? Like, come on.
Yo,
So, you know, it's Marvel. We're doing it, man. Why not?
yo, all of them are really good. Like, just like living, like going back through them. All the ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy is not my favorite film. I don't hate it. It's watchable. I feel like the soundtrack is carrying a lot of the movie for me. I feel like
Wow. That's fair. That's fair.
I especially hated the second one. I did not enjoy that one at all. But the first one, like, it's fun. I don't know. I just wasn't, like, I feel like there was a lot of hype, and I saw it at home. Maybe if I saw it in the theaters, I would have liked it more.
Probably.
Yeah. I saw Iron Man. I do have to say that. When I watched Iron Man, I was working at Best Buy. That was a time in my life. And I used to buy a lot of movies and CDs because I had that access, right? Like, it was just always around me. So people were talking a lot about Iron Man, how good it was. They told me that I needed to see the end credits. So I bought the DVD and watched it in my laptop by myself, just with my tiny little screen. And I remember, like, the last words are, "I am Iron Man," and I leaped from my seat, and I was like, yes! It was so powerful. I really felt it. I was like, yo, this is a great ending. Because, like, from, like, the movies that I'd seen before that were, like, comic book movies, like X-Men, Spider-Man, they were always hiding their identity. They were always, like, operating stealthily. Like, people didn't need it. Like, it would be a danger to other people if they knew who they were. And I feel like he was like, I'm going to own my identity. I'm not going to be out here lying. Like, I can protect myself. I can protect people better if they know who I am, if they know my powers. So I'm going to be out there.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Oh, thanks, Karen.
you just made me want to watch Iron Man now. Like, I'm like, I want to watch that.
It was good.
Again.
And it also, like, I feel like it really preserved that time. Because, like, it feels like really in the midst of the Iraq war still happening. Like the first scenes are like a Humvee being flipped over and a bomb going off. Like, you feel like you're in the action. And I think that was, like, it gave me a pop culture sense of, like, what people were going through over there. Did you feel, like, any connection with that, Adrian? Like, seeing that shot? I was like, oh, were you expecting that when you saw Iron Man?
I mean, we saw that in the trailers. And, like, remember the MySpace reference?
Oh, yeah. And he was, like,
Yeah.
doing the peace signs. He's like, no gang signs. That was, like, a funny thing that was in the trailer. I remember that.
So, yeah, that movie was definitely a reflection of its time. You know, 2008, like you said, Iraq and all that stuff. And, you know, they did a hell of a job with that because that's what carried everything to what it is today.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it really tried to set its own footprint and not follow other things. And that's why it was so successful. They were like, we're going to differentiate ourselves and not play by the book that other superhero movies have been successful for. And I think that's pretty admirable because a lot of Hollywood is being derivative. So I do appreciate that. Do you want to wrap it up?
I want to wrap it up, but I also want to thank Adrian for being here today because I feel like no one else could have been here for this Marvel episode.
Yeah, you really appreciated it.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate your energy. You have a lot of passion for Marvel, and you understand. Like, you take these movies seriously. Like, I think a lot of times people are like, I just want to be part of the hype, and it's not like an endeavor of love. I think for you it really is. It's like
And
Yeah.
with this movie, Endgame, like, yeah, like, it's, man. I want to see it again. Let's go, guys.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
down.
definitely
I'd be happy
down
to watch
go
it again.
Adriana, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
Adriana from Astoria.
Astoria. As someone who has not seen Endgame, do you have any predictions of what you think could happen?
Not that I know of, no.
Well,
It's going to be a surprise.
get ready.
Get ready to see
Everything
it.
will be a surprise.
Hey.
Nicole, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Karen. And thank you, listeners, for listening to us. Please follow us on Instagram at Cinema Therapy Show. And please follow me at Nicole Sophia. Thank you.
You can follow me, KJ Pangantijon, and you can follow Adrian on Instagram at Adrian from the Bronx. Is the Bronx spelled out completely?
BX.
BX.
Yeah.
Adrian from the BX. Shout out to Jade Zabrick at
Yep.
Skies Crescent Radio. Thank you to City World Radio for having us. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
I was trying to point out.